up, everyone? It's How To Videos, another exciting edition of a DIY backyard patio. So as you see here, this is the patio I started to build a few weeks ago during this COVID quarantine, something to keep me busy, and it really costs all that much money, a couple $100 in material, something you can really spruce up your yard with. I think it's a great addition to anyone's backyard if you have a flat surface that you'd like to build on. You know, it's fully, DIY-able as far as I don't have any masonry skills. Watched a few videos online, looked at some new tips and tricks and said, I should try this. Let me make a video and show everyone kind of what I've learned during the process. So first, what you want to go ahead and do is get all your materials. So I'll leave you a link to my channel, whether it's at Amazon or at your local Home Depot, Lowe's. Everything is still pretty cheap, starting with this 1x1 paver. Grab my props here. So these are about $1.50, $1.60 a piece. I think I used a couple, just about under 100 of these overall, but you're welcome to make your patio as big as you choose or as small as you choose. Just a matter of how much money you have, I guess, in this case, or time on your hands. So next we're going to go on to the paver base. This is the bottom. You see the 50-pound bags here. This is made up of either sediment, stone, and some thicker rocks to kind of give you a nice thick base, and for the soil, to kind of permeate to, and all the water runoff to kind of go through. So now that you're working with that, the next layer is going to be sand. Sand is, kind of the most important layer here, in that it needs to keep everything nice and smooth and level. It's a good way to kind of, if you did a sloppy job with your paver base and it has some bumps and it's not exactly the smoothest, then I'm going to go ahead and put a good layer of sand on there, maybe anywhere from a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch, and I'll demonstrate after this. And lastly, we do have this black weed guard. I think this is a good have. It depends on how thick and how deep you're going, how much sand you're going to use. But ultimately you want to use sand to kind of block the weeds, and you use this black weed guard paper to put down. You see, I put it down here before I started. It's pretty cheap. You can buy it online or at your local Home Depot as well. Lastly, you got your premium topsoil. I use this around the borders, so I'm going to ultimately cover up the plastic border I'm going to kind of nail into the ground here. I'll show you that in one moment. But a good way to build this directly into your lawn, have it kind of sloping, or as you see here, mine's raised up a little bit. I started, and ultimately my lawn wasn't as at least flat as I thought it might be. So I'll get some of that. And lastly, you've got your, let's see, this is what, 6 foot by, I'm not sure how tall this is, about 1.5 inches, 2 inches either side. Maybe it's about 3 inches here. I think it's 2 by 3, but ultimately these holes is what you're going to nail these plastic stakes through into the ground to keep this held. And this is going to keep your wall intact. So you don't need any fancy rock border or railroad ties, what I thought I was going to need. This is pretty cheap. Another great way to kind of put your wall intact, and then boom, put some stones, or even put some soil on top of it. I'm planning to do that. Some people want to put like a nice fancy stone border around the outside. So anyways, toss that aside and let's get going. Bring the camera over here. As you'll see here, I've got a number of rows already finished at this point. I wanted to go ahead and show you the end of the video, since I can kind of give an overview, a synopsis of here's what you should do, here's what you shouldn't do. Overall, plan from an hour per row. I have about 12 blocks per row, so if that makes sense, then go ahead and make a note. So I'm going to then start with some paver base, put paver base down, put some sand on top, get it level, and you're going to want to stop. And I'll show you as far as that goes. You're going to want to level the rocks a little bit higher, because they're going to settle down and kind of compress when you stop. But that's what you want to make sure it's simulated, that it's, you're going to hit it with rain, snow, and this has already been through a couple different storms. We just had one recently, so it's withstood the test of time thus so far. So let me get started here. So the next step here is going to be to want to flatten this. So if at all means you do have any kind of masonry tools, please go ahead and use them. I just have my hands and a couple of stone bricks, so want to get this level and probably higher towards this end of it. This end is more compact. When you hit this is going to crunch down a little bit. So for now, what we're going to do is try and at least make this pretty uniform. I'll grab my sample block over here. Put it down, and the fun part, you get to jump on this, make it nice and squishy. So, ready, set, boom. That's my first swing at it. As you saw, it moved around quite a bit, so I want to nail this a few more times. Boom, boom, boom. And yeah, I think the next part of this is going to be more, let's then readjust. As you see here, this started up higher, now it's below here. You want to make this level, and I'll get my level out in just a moment. So let's take this back, fix this a little bit. Some of the stone kind of poured over. It's fine. Put it back up here. We're good to go. Move some of the stone from the front towards the back. Level this out. So you see what I'm doing here? Just a couple, maybe about a minute or two per stone. Let's give it a good nailing again. Move the soil out of the way. We'll use this later. Alright, so right now, as you can see here, this is level, too high, too high. So we're getting closer. I'm going to take some away from here, on this end, put it on this side, some over here. Let's try one more time. Then when we get it right, we're going to pour some sand on it and let her rip. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. That is just about right. It's a little low over here, so I'm going to add just a tad more, and we'll be on our way. Okay, just a tad. I'm going to grab the sand, some sand on there. You honestly only need about a handful of this. So, if I had to, just about a handful, like that. Spread it around, you know, get a nice 1/4 inch layer, so it smooths out. And this is, you know, good to get ready to get rid of your imperfections in the soil and the sand. So, and this will drain just fine. I had 5-6 inches of rain the other day, and no problem. Good as new. So let's put this block in, give a nice kick, boom, boom, and look at that. Nice level. Let me get my level and test it out, and we'll see. Let's take a look. Boom. On this side, all good. Take a look on this side. You can see here, look at that. Just about good. I got to raise it just a tad. Just a teeny tad over here. But good overall. So I will now put a little bit more sand on the end of it. And some rocks. Put some of these rocks that came out again. Towards the end. Back you go. Okay. Some sand. And this will spread. Even though it looks like it's a little high over here, as soon as you smash it down, it's going to spread out a little bit. So, put this like this. Boom. Boom. Look at that. Looking real good. Oh yeah, look at that. Nice and level. Alright. One more. Last one. So, this is the fun part, the end of the job. I get to kind of enjoy and actually see this fire pit in action later tonight. So, let me open up this last bag of paver base. So, for now, I think we're good. I'm going to take a little break, and we're going to bring the border around, start laying some soil down, get this ready to go for a nice fancy plastic, I guess you'd call it like a urethane border. Alright, peace out for now. Alright, so for the last part of my video, I'm going to pile all this soil kind of up to about here-ish, and I'm going to cut in so I'm able to then take this border, which you see here, put it nice and neat along the side, whoops, just like that, and boom, we'll have ourselves a nice flush, secure patio. That's the plan. Get the soil in place, nail it down. I have the spikes, it's going to be last, and then we're going to have to kind of take a rubber mallet and, you know, take every single row, make sure it's in nice and neat. So just kind of housekeeping items, and then you're going to want to also pour sand in all the cracks here to ensure that it gets a good seal, gets firm, you know, everything kind of meshes well together, and also prevents weeds from growing. So that's kind of the last bits of this video. So if you enjoyed it, I'm going to leave the camera on, fast forward while I kind of unload all this soil. Thanks. So at this point, we are now ready to put down our first border. You don't want to dig about maybe a ½ inch to an inch below, so you get some clearance. And this sits just about flush with these pavers. You want it to sit nice and below, you know, so you can ultimately cover this and nobody sees it. You know, want it to be still, you know, in line with the pavers, but at the same time, you're like, you know, you need this thing hidden so it's not ugly. So you see here in a couple areas, I'm going to want to dig down below and then put these stakes in. I'm almost there, maybe another ½ inch clearance kind of on all these sides, so one more shot. Alright, let's try one more time. Oh, that looks good now. Can't really see the border. I'm liking what I'm seeing here. So yeah, let's give it a go. Get rid of this one spot. It's a little too high. Alright. So now get your rubber mallet, get these stakes, put them in the stake in the ground. Simple as that. And then we're going to cover this up with some more soil when we're done. And this is basically how the project's going to finish up. So now you can get these on Amazon. I don't need my flashlight yet, but I have to work in the dark. That's what I got it for. So these things go about 5-6 inches into the ground. Pretty simple, self-explanatory. Nail them in, and we're good to go. Boom. I'd say do them about once every foot. We don't need to go crazy here. Stop for a moment, take a deep breath. Happy I've come to this point of the project, so hope you enjoy watching. I guess my final send-off, and I'll fast forward through the last part where I put the soil on, and assume I'm going to plant grass seed after the fact. It's raining today, pretty cool, so hopefully this does the job, and enjoy your nice, fine, new fire pit patio. It's how-to videos, signing off.